Hello, everybody. Hello, Sunday Sunday friends. How are you? By the time this rolls out, we'll probably be close to Christmas time.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
I
I
hope
can't
everybody's
believe it.
had,
Yeah, already.
I know, close to the end of 2025. It goes faster and faster every year, doesn't it?
Yes, my bonus mom said that life is like a roll of toilet paper. And as you get towards the end of the roll of toilet paper, it goes faster.
My gosh,
Stop.
it's so
I
true. She shouldn't have
want to
given us
think of a
that
different
analogy.
analogy. I don't know if I want to liken life to a roll of toilet paper. Anyway, we always kind of chat ahead of recording. And what are we going to talk about today? So I brought this up to the ladies a couple of nights ago. My husband and I were just sitting on the couch and we're like, let's watch a movie. He played the movie Stand By Me. I don't
Mm,
know if you guys remember that. Do you remember watching Stand By Me as a young girl? Was that
yes.
something you guys watched?
Yes.
Yeah.
Savvy? Me new? So Stand By
Nope.
Me was a story of four male friends. They're probably meant to be like 12, 13 during this in the movie. And they go out on an adventure. They've heard that this young boy went missing and somebody said that he got hit by a train, but nobody knows where the body is or something like that. And so these four boys were like, let's be heroes. Let's go find the dead body. So it's all about like their adventure. And they start walking on the train tracks to go look for this young boy. They want to be the ones to find the dead body. And, like we're going to be in the newspaper. Like one of them brings a comb. Jerry O'Connell, he was a little chubby kid. He's like, I brought a comb in case we get our picture taken for the newspaper. So anyway, so it's the whole story about their friendship and they go out on this little adventure. Oh, Aaron. So they go out on this little adventure to find the body. So it's just, it's a poignant story about friendship. And what struck me as we were at the very end, so the story's being told from the adult standpoint. He's reflecting back on these couple of days that he spent with his childhood friends. He's a writer. The main character is a writer. He's like typing it out on his very ancient computer. And he said, I never had friends like I did when I was 12. And that really struck me because right away, like I got taken back to being that age, in elementary school where you're like on the cusp of elementary school and junior high or middle school. And I remember that summer before I guess I was a little older, like between 7th and 8th grade, maybe 8th going into 9th. And I had like one really, really good friend who I'm still friends with today. But just that whole line just like took me right back to being a young preteen and hanging out with my friends. We would camp out in each other's front yards. One of my good friends and I, we lived probably a 20-minute walk from each other. So we'd start walking, like she'd start walking from her house, I'd start walking from mine, and then we'd meet in the middle and then go to her house or go to my house or go to a friend's house. Just memories of young childhood friendships. So that's what I wanted to talk about today.
I remember camping out. I remember pitching a tent out in the backyard and hanging out there overnight. It was so much fun. It was like getting the camping without camping. She always run inside. Yeah, it was. I remember my most furthest back friend was in San Antonio, Texas, and I was friends with a girl named Courtney Bell. She was a triplet, and I have tried to find her so many times. Her brothers' names are Jordan and Jonathan. I would say about 7 or 8, and she was my best friend. And we would get on our bikes and we would just ride our bikes all day. And I remember one time I stayed the night at her house, and they had this separate room in their house, and there was no bathroom there, but you had to walk outside to go to the bathroom. And so we were so scared because we thought we heard noises and ghosts and voices that we had to go to the bathroom so bad, but we had to wait until light because nobody wanted to leave this separate quarters of the house to walk to the bathroom when it was, and it was all of us. Like the boys were in there, it was Courtney, we were just in there, and somebody even brought out a bucket and said, let's just go here. And I couldn't do it, nobody else could do it. And I remember that night, we had so much fun, but I was so scared. I had to go to the bathroom so bad. First light, we all ran to the house as soon as light hit. She was my buddy. We would get on our bikes for, back in the day where there was no cell phones and were just gone all day until the street lights came on. Good times. Remember we were
Great
talking about
time.
this. Yes. And There's no record of anything
No
That's
record.
right.
until
No, right.
1990 what? See, my son was born in 7, so that's when I got my first cell phone was in 98, and it didn't have a recording device on it yet. So, great times. Nobody could tell me
Yeah.
what I did. What proof?
And of course, when we had like those sleepovers, somebody was gonna get TP'd. Did you guys ever go TP someone's house or egg
I
someone's house?
remember that. I did not. I did not.
Uh-uh.
Oh, I did.
I
Mm-mm.
play the fifth.
That means did you ever
Me
go egging, Savvy?
No.
No. I spent my time in the group homes, as you guys know. So, but my
Yeah.
earliest memory, too, I remember my friend, her name was Desiree, and
Mm.
she moved away when we were probably like 9. Anyway, she was such a beautiful girl, and I had such a fun time playing with her, and we were inseparable. And I had that too with my cousin, but this is a Friends episode. She was more like a friend also. Those are my earliest memories, but as time went on, I entered into the foster system at 11. That was a pretty young age. And so I kind of just met a lot of different people, experienced a lot of different friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I've retained, a handful of them actually in this lifetime, which is pretty cool beans.
That is. What about you,
Yeah.
Mina? What was it growing up in India? What kind of trouble did you get into with your preteen friends?
Well, we did not have as much liberty as you do here. But I remember growing up with, we were 5 girlfriends, and we would call our group name SMAC, initial of each, and, each one of us, SMACK.
I love
And
Nice.
that.
three of us are still in touch. 2 have just disappeared. We don't know where they are. And in fact, with one, I shared birthday. We were born on the same day, same hospital, and we met in elementary school. We are still in touch, but we were good kids. Well, in India, girls don't have this many privileges. I'm talking about, early or maybe in 1990s. Now it has changed. So we were not allowed to
Were
stay
you allowed to
back when
spend
it
the
was
night?
dark. No, never.
Okay.
No
That was
sleepovers?
No
that was big
sleepovers.
for me
No.
too. Like my mom did not
Mm-mm.
think that we should be sleeping over at other people's homes. So it
I
took a
Yep.
long time for us to be allowed to spend the night at a friend's house.
I totally
My mother
totally agree with it now. Totally agree with that thought process.
My mother always used to say, nothing good happens at night. So why do you want to stay at someone's house? And I would
Well,
like,
that's a
what does
whole
she
other
mean?
conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation. Wise words right there.
So yeah,
So you never had that. You never spent the night at a friend's house or had somebody
no.
spend the night at your house.
Well, if they wanted to, they were more than welcome, but I was never allowed to spend a night at someone's
Mm.
house.
What about you, Erin? Were you allowed to do
Yeah,
sleepovers?
I was just thinking about that. My parents were pretty, they had to know the other families pretty well. And the school I went to a lot, it was smaller, so the families knew each other. But I remember specifically, my dad would always ask me if my closest friend would be there, my best friend would be there. He always felt comfortable if we were together. So it was like, if she's there and her parents are okay with it, I'm okay with it, because her parents didn't like sleepovers either. It was only when I was older though. But man, those were fun times though. The slumber parties were super fun when we did have them.
Yes.
So staying up all night and giggling and putting makeup on and watching
Telling ghost
movies and
stories. Oh my God. And I was such a scaredy cat. I do not like horror movies. I don't like scary
yeah,
stories. And then whenever we had a sleepover, somebody wanted to tell a scary ghost story.
yes,
And I would try to slide down into my sleeping bag and
yes,
secretly cover my ears so I wouldn't have
yes.
to hear the scary ghost story.
Yes, those were the only places that I ever got to see all the stuff that I wasn't supposed to watch or like listen to or what. I was always at my friends' sleepovers. They would have like the rated R movies and all
Yes.
the horror, like what were they, like Friday the
I
13th
was
and
going to say Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah.
Oh
Oh my
my God. I
gosh, those were
watched my first
awful.
one. They were awful. Oh my God. They were so bloody and scary. And
Oh, never want to
Yeah,
go to sleep again. I don't even think I got through a whole movie of Nightmare on Elm
I can
Street.
yeah.
still remember the Freddy Krueger song. Do you guys remember?
Yes.
Ugh.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Okay. It's late. We're not doing that. I'll take it in my dreams.
Sammy, I can't hear you. You're muted. What were you saying?
Sorry, I was singing the song.
You
3,
singing the
4,
song?
better lock your
Lock your
door.
Yeah.
5, 6, grab
All
your
right, I'm logging off. I'm
crucifix.
getting off. Look, I am a dreamer. I am a very vivid dreamer. I dream every single night. I cannot watch horrors. Matter of fact, a friend of mine sent me a scary message on Facebook, and I told him, I said, you can't send this stuff to me. It'll follow me in my dreams. So this song, ladies, if I freaking hear this song in my dream tonight, I'm coming for you because I
No,
take
Freddy's
things
coming
in.
for you.
No, I can't do it. I can't even do commercials. I can't even do scary commercials. These things follow me in my dreams.
Scary commercials? What's a scary commercial?
I don't know. Like trailers
Like a
for
movie
horror movies
ad?
that are coming out. Yes.
Okay. Like,
Can't do it.
Savvy, your hand's up. Did you want to say something?
Sure.
Savvy, is your hand up? Oh, no, that's my cursor.
Maybe
What
not
have
too
you
much.
been drinking tonight?
I was thinking about though, I am blessed to have, some of the same friends that knew me when I was really young. When you were talking about Stand By Me, I can relate to that, that the people that knew you when you were young like that, there's nothing like that. They know you at your core and your true spirit. And there's friends like that I have like that, we one of my closest friends lives in another country across the world, and we unfortunately don't get to see each other as much as we would like to. Like as soon as we, have the chance to catch up, it's like no time has passed at all. We just pick up right where we left off and are able to just instantly connect. And it's like we were hanging out yesterday, So
And isn't it
blessed to have good friends like that. And I feel like that with you all
Yes.
too,
Isn't it funny too with those close friendships that the minute you think about that person, like the next day or later that day, they call you?
Oh,
That
yeah.
happens
Oh,
with
yeah.
me and my childhood friends who it actually just happened this weekend because I was thinking about after I mentioned that we had watched Stand By Me and I wanted to talk about childhood friendships. She called me the next day.
Oh,
Mm.
It's so funny. It's not funny. It's not coincidence, right? It's
Yeah. And
it's
growing up in the
energy. It's the
military,
universe.
Your hearts are connected.
what's that, Minu?
I said it's telepathy. Your hearts are connected.
Yeah, I think you can probably have soul ties to a friend.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
100%.
So growing up in the military with my dad. So when I met Courtney, I was living with my mom, and I didn't go live with my dad until I think I was like 12 or 13. And I have to say that social media allows you to stay connected to people. Obviously, that's how I met my, partner, not my ex, and allows you to stay connected to those people that you went to school with. So you're only there for a short amount of time. Like your parents'
Yeah.
tour is like 3 or 4 years, and then you move on. You move on to another place. I've only been friends with one person who's kind of carried throughout the years, but before that is when I knew Savvy. I knew Savvy in junior high. Again, we didn't hang out. We just knew each other, and our daughters met several years later, and that's how we reconnected. But those are probably the only, I met the other one in Italy. I was in high school. I met Savvy in junior high. So I think Savvy is probably my oldest childhood friend that is still my friend today. I have no idea where Courtney is. I have no idea. I mean, the other person, we barely even speak. I will say this. I met a girl in Janitel Junior High. I think, Savvy, did you go there? Yes, that's where we met.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's where
I'm
we
so-
met.
Duh. So Janitel Junior High. So when I moved there from Arizona to live with my dad, and when you start school, they buddy you up with somebody. And that person's supposed to give you a tour. They're supposed to help you get acquainted to the new surroundings. Her name was Phyllis Lucero. She was awesome. However, nobody liked her and they thought we were friends. So I immediately started off at that school hated. And it was a terrible, terrible start. And then she left like a few weeks later to go to Sproul or Spiral. I don't remember the name of that junior high. She left, she transferred out. So I inherited all her enemies and I hated school. I hated junior high. And when it was time to move to Italy, I couldn't wait. I just wanted to get out of there because I was bullied. It was an awful experience, but she was amazing. And it's unfortunate that people didn't get to know the person that I got to know. And I have looked for her just to see how she is, and I can't find her. Although my experience at that school was not good, she was a really good friend before she left. She was
That's
really
a
That's
big deal
crazy.
to have a
That's
friend like that in middle school, because middle school's like where we're all like the worst versions of ourselves,
Oh,
in
geez.
Yeah,
life.
you're
And
right.
I had one of my closest friends told my daughter that she was talking to her about like, I don't know, a struggle she was having in middle school. And she said, listen, this is a time in your life when everybody's the worst version of themselves. And in a year, it'll all change. It'll all get better in life. And they all look back and go, oh, yeah, that was just middle school.
I volunteered at a middle school and I was like, these kids are horrible. Like, I wouldn't want to be
Oh.
a teacher in middle school. I wouldn't want to work in a middle school. They're in that transition that I get all this freedom and I know I know everything savvy.
I just think that based off of our pictures, we were actually looking like we were friends. Like we
Mm.
were smiling next to each other and like totally deucing it up. So I'm grateful I wasn't a bully to you because I don't think you can stand next to your bully and smile like that.
I just don't
I did
recall us hanging out. Like, we didn't hang out outside of school. Like, our
no,
relation.
it was because I was
Yeah.
in a group home at that time, so I didn't have the luxury. I had to go straight home after school, and I didn't play sports until later on in first year of high school. So, yeah, I didn't really have very many friends like that outside of the school. So it would have been just in our class.
I wish we hung out because my experience was so bad at Genital, these girls were coming to my house, knocking on my door to come out so they could beat me up. It was
Oh
not a
my
good
God.
experience at
They
Genital.
better be glad. They better be
Wow.
glad I didn't know them then, because I would have jacked up every last one of them.
I know you would have. God
I'm so
bless you.
serious, Minu. Look at Minu's eyes got big. Like,
I'm like, yeah, I know you will.
Don't come to my house, please.
And Donnie, she lived across the street. Donnie was her name was Daniela, but we called her Donnie. She lived across the street in Fountain. She was another good friend of mine. Yeah. I remember her.
Now, I don't remember having like good friends like in my like on my block, like in my neighborhood. That we were all spread out. I mean, we all went to the same neighborhood school, the same neighborhood middle school, and then we all filtered to the same high school. But yeah, all of my friends were several blocks away. I always thought that would be a great way to grow up, to have like your best friend across the street, right? Or in the house next door, and you could like throw pebbles at each other's windows and have conversations over the walkie-talkies. Remember the cans with the string?
Mhm.
Hmm.
God, I'm
yes.
totally aging myself.
I had it when I moved out to California when I was, I don't know, I was like in my early 20s. And I went with a friend and we drove our own cars out there. And it was before like any of us had cell phones or cell phone plans or anything like that. So she got walkie talkies, like those ones that you use when you go hiking. And so we just talked to each other through the walkie talkies the whole
So
way.
much fun.
Yeah, and then there was, like, interference that would come through, like, from the truckers too.
Could you hear the truckers on your walkie-talkies? Like, could you hear
Yeah,
their
it was
conversations?
yeah, yeah, it was weird. Walkie-talkies are fun, though.
I actually need to get a set. I need to get a set of walkie-talkies. The only thing is that now that they go off a satellite, and so are they really going to be that reliable when you need them? But I had a lot of fun with walkie-talkies. I was traveling with somebody and they were in the car behind us and we had walkie-talkies. Yeah. Had a code name and everything. Everybody was Maverick because of Top Gun. Maverick and Goose.
Maverick and Goose.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were talking about neighborhood though, Paula, and I like some of the best memories I have are being outside just playing and riding bikes. We used to ride bikes all over the city, all over the place together. My mom would literally like we'd wake up in the morning and we were ready to go out and play, on the weekends, and she'd say, "Okay, see you later when you want to eat lunch," and then she'd literally lock the door. Not
Bye.
being
Get
mean, but
out.
just like I got stuff to do, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but those were great times. And I don't think that people
Yeah.
Yeah.
nowadays, they don't have that. Like they have their cell phone and they're always connected to their phone. Even as an adult, I am. And I just want to, honestly, I'd like to just go back to a house phone or a flip phone. But like as I was talking to Savvy earlier, she's like, well, I like the camera and, the video chat and you have all those things that are available. It was so free back
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I do have those memories of neighborhood friends when I was very young. I was 8 years old when we moved to the United States, and we lived in this little neighborhood in Denver, and there were a lot of kids on that block. And I remember that too, like on the weekends or in the afternoons, all the kids would just come out.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be riding your bike up and down the block
Mm-hmm.
or everybody's front yards. Like a lot of the front yards now are fenced, but like it seemed like every yard it was like one continuous front yard. So I remember like we would play tag like from one house all the way down to the other, or we'd have like races or just kid things. We'd just be playing all over everybody's front yard and nobody cared. There wasn't like a mean neighbor coming out and like, get off my lawn. It was just kids running around all over the block. So that is something that I remember having as a very young child. One thing I remember too is we'd come out at night and we'd have hide and seek.
Oh, yes.
So all these neighborhood kids, we'd play
Right.
hide and seek in the dark.
Yes.
Did
I
you do
have
that
done
too, Mina?
that. Yes, I have. Not just with my friends, my brother's friends, at night when my parents would sleep, then he and I would sneak out in our
Rebel.
neighborhood, and all the kids would be out and we would play hide and seek and, other fun games, or we'll just create our own games.
The power went out in my apartment complex one time when I lived in an apartment, and a couple times actually, the power went out and all the kids came outside to play. The playground was packed. Everybody was riding their bike, and it was like, there are a lot of kids here. When there's no power to get on your electronics, your video games, and all that stuff, they come out and play. And it was a beautiful sight. The sounds of laughter and screaming. And I stood on my balcony and took pictures because I hadn't seen that since we were kids. Where just kids were out all the time. It was a beautiful sight.
Fun.
Yeah.
Or sprinklers. Remember running through the sprinklers?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's so fun.
Remember the slip and slide? Oh my gosh,
I was just about to say that.
hurts.
Remember slip and slide?
Oh, that hurts so bad. Boom!
Yes, they're so good.
There's
I actually like the monkey bars. I love
Yes,
to do
monkey
the
bars.
spins, the flips and the turns backwards and yeah.
Were you on the episode where we talked about the death drop? Did you miss that
Is that
episode,
where
Sadie?
She did.
where you I must have, but is that where
Yeah.
you do the flip off of it?
Yes. Did you
Yes.
do that?
Absolutely. I was wild.
Absolutely. Oh my, me
I can't believe
too.
we did those things. Like, what were we thinking?
Having fun.
I tried to do one as an adult. I was terrified. I was like, nope, get me down. Get me down.
Now that I'm not as flexible, I would never do that.
I want to learn how to do a handstand. To fall on my neck and break my neck. And then I'm like here all alone, just,
Practice up against a wall.
Yes.
Practice up
I'm
against
still
the wall
scared.
and
I'm
use your
still scared.
use
I can hold myself with my forearms. I've done that. And I put my
Use those
forearms
pole
up.
dancing arms.
I put my forearms and I can put my knees on my forearms. I can do that. I don't know. Scared. I'm older.
Can you do a handstand, Minu, with your yoga
Yes.
practice?
Yes, I can.
You can. We need a
Yes,
picture.
I can.
I want to see.
Can you
I'm
twerk while you're
impressed.
doing that handstand?
I wish. That's what you have to teach me, my love.
You know I will.
You've given me enough juice before this recording, which I'm still in the state of shock. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, Aaron, you
Lots
missed
to
it.
learn.
Did you mean pineapple juice?
Yeah.
No,
We'll have to
neither-
catch Erin up later. Maybe she knows what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Do you?
We did talk about it at the last at our our last girls trip.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
We did talk about it at the girls' trip.
Yes, because we were talking about getting pineapple tattoos, and then you were like, "Nope, don't do it." Yeah,
I
don't
explained to
remember
y'all
that
what it meant.
conversation either.
there was a lot of wine, Paula.
There was a lot of wine. I like wine.
Yeah,
All right. So what else about friendship, childhood friendship?
You
What
know, I was thinking about when we got our licenses, and I remember my really close friend, both of them, we would go on like long drives late at night. And I don't think we were supposed to be out that late, especially on school nights, but that's what we did. And we'd listen to music and scream sing at the top of our lungs and have a great time just being together and being, up in the mountain. And we would go pretty far up in the mountains too.
really?
Go stargazing and yeah. So those are good times. Yeah, and then we got together with for a trip and with one of my friends with our families, and she had made a playlist of all of these songs that from all of the years that we've been friends, and I couldn't believe like what she could remember all the different
Oh my
songs
gosh.
and took me back.
I bet.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty fun. Yeah.
See, all the things that you girls did while growing up, I think I I did pretty much a lot here in United States with Patricia.
Mm.
You know? Yeah. She would say, "What stops you to do it now? Let's just do it." So it was like an every Saturday project for her. What
To give you
will.
those experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
That's so cool.
And how long were
Yeah.
you and Patricia? Like, when did you meet Patricia?
I met her at work, and I remember when my boss put us together on a project, and I've heard all bad things about her, that how mean she is. I told my boss, "I'll work with anyone but not her." And then he said, "Why?" I said, "Because nobody likes her, so I don't want to work with her." And initially we would butt head for the first 3 months because she has her way and I would have my way. And later we became best friends. Like every project we wanted to be together.
That's
So
beautiful.
So what kinds of adventures did you have with Patricia as an adult?
going to a sex store,
Definitely do that with your 12-year-old friend.
trying a sexy lingerie, wearing something that I never wore, doing full makeup, hair. And, she was like, "Let's just go and sit at the nice bar and just talking to strangers." Like for me, I'm like, I don't know. She's like, "You can do it." Dancing with strangers, going to a nightclub.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
In fact, she challenged me to eat meat, and I was so drunk.
Mm.
I did try chicken because she had a recording, and I'm like, "No, no." She's like, "You had no idea what you were eating because you were so drunk." Yeah.
I mean, he's a vegetarian. That's why it's a big deal.
Yes,
Yes.
it is a big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. She
You
was a
know who
great
was
friend to you.
who was a good friend to me too was my sister. We used to get together on our birthdays and we'd smoke a little bit and then we'd go to the theater and we'd watch a movie. And then we'd be so high that we'd go to a restaurant and I would plan ahead because I would call the restaurant and be like, "We need someplace in the back." Because we would be laughing and loud. And that was how our birthdays. Mine was in August, hers was in January. So every 6 months, twice a year, we had these really great birthday celebrations, and that was our routine. Yep, she was
I
my best friend.
love that. I love that. Okay, since you're talking about your sister being your friend or whatever, because that's such a beautiful relationship. I want to say that about my cousins too, because they were like everything. We would play. We didn't have a football, and we would take a Pepsi can or a Coke can. And we would use that as the football. And so it was just a really awesome time because I think I spent most of my time with my cousins. And so, especially before I went into the system. And so, those are my memories. Just being all of us sleeping together. That's where our sleepovers were. We didn't get to have friend sleepovers, but we did do family sleepovers.
So
Me
did you have a
too.
lot of cousins your age?
Yeah, there was only 2 girl cousins that were together. There was 3 of us the same age, but the one lived out of state, and me and my other cousin. Then the rest were all boys. So, there is I'd say about 7 of us at the most that are the same age, and we spent most of the time together. So our parents were all pregnant at the same time. And
Wow.
then here we all came. So, yeah.
You
But
two
when
only
my
knew?
huh?
Sorry. No, go ahead, Savi.
Oh,
Finish.
I was gonna say when my grandmother died, she had already, I believe it was 80 something grandchildren. So there were a
Wow.
lot of us together.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It's a big family. Big family.
That's not a family. That's a
60,
freaking
60
community. That's a
That's
community.
I
yeah.
That is
know.
a
It
small
is
city.
a
That's a town.
community because there's 16 children from my grandmother. So yeah, only a couple of the kids had 2 children, but the rest had like 5 and 7.
Wow.
So yeah.
God bless that woman. God bless your grandmother. Holy cow. 16 children?
16.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Minu, were you
Sometimes
going to say something about cousins too?
I had good fun growing up, with cousins. So for me, it was more like even years we would stay with the cousins from my mom's side and odd years with my dad's side. So I was very close to I'm very close to the cousins from my father's side, and we are pretty similar in age. So, and I'm the, youngest girl, over pampered. And, my cousins, so like the ghost stories and everything and scaring, all of that, I've done it with my cousins, but not with friends. You know, my great grandma used to stay with us and she would keep an eye on us. And if she ever complains, we were grounded. We cousins would take turns to make sure we could hide her glasses so she couldn't see. And we could do whatever we wanted to. Yeah, we've done that too.
Wow, you were a little mischievous, weren't you, Minu? I never would have thought.
You
Mhm.
bad egg.
Mhm.
Oh, goodness. Well, I think we're really blessed that we've all, that we've had our various childhood friendships, cousinships, sisterships, because
Mhm.
my younger sister, and I are very close as well. But here we all are, right?
Mhm.
With our adult friendships and having experiences that maybe we didn't get to have as children. We talk about the pillow fights and, doing makeovers and having dance parties. Like we still like to do that as adults. And
Are you talking about the pillow fight that Christopher wants? Is that what we're talking about?
yeah, shall I tell our audience
No, I'm
that
sorry. We don't know who that is.
our audience,
No, the name.
my husband wants us to have a sexy pillow fight and record it. Every time we get together, he's like, okay, sexy pillow fight.
You know what we should do is like just look absolutely hideous and do a pillow fight. Just look like overgrown sweats and, our clothes is like 3 times too big for us. Our hair is all over the place and record a pillow fight.
Here you go, dear. Here's your sexy pillow
Here you
fight.
go.
All right, ladies. Well, this was fun. Again, like I said, watching that movie just sparked some memories for me of childhood friendship. So I wanted to have a conversation with my adult, beautiful girlfriends and reminisce about those memories. I'm glad we have each other to continue to lift each other up and scoop each other up and have fun together. Enjoy adult friendship because it's so important and such a blessing in my life.
Amen.
So good to talk to all of you. And thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us tonight. And hope you all have a lovely Sunday Sunday.
Bye.